Ma'am, I cannot turn on my video.
You want to share?
Ma'am, I cannot turn on my video.
No problem. Give your presentation.
Okay. India has the second largest roadway network in India, means in the world, spinning a total of 5.89 million kilometers. This road network transports 64.5% of all goods in the country, and 90% of India's total passenger traffic uses road network to communicate. Road transportation has gradually increased over these years with improvement in connectivity between cities, towns, and villages in the country. In India, sale of automobiles and movement of freight by roads is growing at rapid rate. Market size. Highway construction in India increased at 17% between FY16 and FY21. Despite pandemic and lockdown, India has constructed 13,298 kilometers of highway in FY21. In FY21, 13 kilometers, 298 kilometers of highway was constructed across India. In June 2021, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways constructed 2,284 kilometers of national highway compared with 1,681 kilometers in June 2020. In October 2020, the foundation stone was established for 9 national highways projects. The Government of India has allotted rupees.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. I have a power problem. Power supply is not there. Anyhow, I will continue with my mobile phone.
Yes.
Yaswini is talking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please
continue.
Please explain about the road transport.
The Government of India has allotted rupees 1
Yeah.
lakh crore under the National Infrastructure Pipeline for FY 2019-25. The road sector is likely to account for 18% capital expenditure over FY 2019 to 25. In October 2020, the National Investment and Infrastructure Fund is making progress towards integrating its roads and highway portfolio. These roads infra projects will be supported by Ataga Infrastructure, assisted by a team of establishment professionals with diverse domain expertise in the transport field. That's it.
Yeah. Here you just note down 2 points. Can you tell Vikram who is the Minister for Road Transport?
I don't know.
Vikram?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
You should know Nitin Gadkari. Nitin Gadkari is the Minister for Road Transport and Highways. And the Secretary also is a Telugu gentleman, an IAS officer from Andhra Cadre 1988 batch, Mr. A. Giridhar. He hails from Anantapur and he is heading that 1,000 crores of rupees budget. The Secretary, Road Transport. Another thing, the Government of India recently has increased the deadline for the road renovation. I will talk to you when the highlights are being discussed. Now we will go to Vikram. Vikram, Banking Ombudsman. You open your video and give the presentation.
So can you see it, sir?
Yeah, it is coming.
So basically my topic is about the banking ombudsman.
Yeah.
Who are banking ombudsman? These are the contents which I want to say, sir. Who are banking ombudsman, appointment and the tenure, and the jurisdiction of which they have the power in which they can use their powers, and reforms and issues. Here, sir, basically he has the complaint against the banks. If suppose the bank is delaying some work for us for the issuing of cash in respect to the demand draft or something else, we can complain to the banking ombudsman, and he will try to resolve the issue for us, or he will force the bank to do it faster. Or suppose if they are the working hours of bank is less than 8 hours or something, or it is less than how much is specified by RBI or some other banks, you can go to the banking ombudsman. Banking ombudsman was first set up in the United Kingdom from the UK. After that, different countries have taken up that, and at last, I mean, say in the 1995, the RBI has empowered this in India. This is the appointment basically for the earlier RBI used to appoint some of the person of the legal in the RBI itself, but later on it is becoming difficult for the RBI to appoint the people of the RBI to there, and he made the general managers or the chief general manager of the bank itself as an ombudsman. And the last update has been is that the three types of ombudsman are together clubbed into single ombudsman known as integrated ombudsman. We can complain him regarding the digital transaction, because in these days the digital transactions are happening very more, and in the same way the frauds are also happening in the same level. So in that case you can go to the only one ombudsman. In the previous cases, to go for NBFC, one different ombudsman, and digital transaction one ombudsman, and the normal bank service another ombudsman. But the RBI has on the February 15th of this year, they integrated all the ombudsman, and which made the customers happier, so that they can complain to single person. And for the tenure of the ombudsman is 3 years. After 3 years, he will be appointed, or he can be reappointed also. And these have the jurisdiction or the replacement of the also consumer firm. Like suppose in the earlier stages, people used to confuse between the consumer. I will join again. Sir. Hello.
Yeah, I am listening.
Sir, one second, sir. Power cuts.
Power supply problem for you?
Yes, sir. I'll join.
Madam, I got the power supply. You can, connect me to the second iPad.
Recording in progress.
Yeah.
You can close one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I think there's a problem for Vikram.
Yeah, power supply.
Vishnu has not joined.
He is still in college, sir. Sneha
Okay.
has exams, board exams.
No problem. Yeah. I will supplement the information given by Vikram. All of you, please note down. Only 2 people are there now. One is Yashwini, another is Aditi has joined.
Aditi has joined, sir.
Aditi has joined, and
Can't
there
give the
is
presentation today.
no problem. No, she can do it later.
No, ma'am. Actually, I found an article about the topic which I found was pretty informative. Can I talk about that instead?
Yes, sure.
Please.
I didn't make any presentation though.
No problem.
Okay, I'll do it on my turn. Or should I do it now?
Yeah.
We do it. You do it.
Should I start, sir?
Yeah, please.
My topic is the 3 farmer laws and how it got repealed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced the repeal of the 3 continuous farm laws, which had witnessed protests from farmers, mainly from Punjab and Haryana, on the borders of Delhi for more than a year. What were the farm laws that has been repealed? They are the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act 2020, which is aimed at following trade in agricultural produce outside the existing APMC mandis. The Farmers Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020, which seeks to provide a framework to contracting farmers. The Essential Commodities Act 2020, which is aimed at removing commodities such as cereals, pulses, oilseeds, edible oils, onion, and potato from the list of essential commodities. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had announced these laws as part of the 3rd tranche under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to support the economy during the fight against COVID-19. On June 3rd, 2020, the Union Cabinet chaired by Modi approved the 3 laws, then in the form of ordinances. 2 days later, the President promulgated the ordinances during the monsoon session of Parliament. The government introduced bills to replace ordinances, which was evidently passed. Why had there been a need felt to be repealed? There had been a long pending demands for reforming in agricultural marketing, a subject that had come under the purview of the state governments. The center took the issue up in the early 2000s by pushing for the reforms in the Agricultural Produce Market Committee Act of the states. The Agricultural Ministry under the NDA government designed a model APMC Act in 2003, circulated it among the states. The subsequent UPA government to push for these reforms. In what circumstances were these laws passed? At the time, the government announced the reforms and initially cleared them as the ordinances in June 2020. There were token protests within the country's attention, gripped by the first wave of COVID-19. When the government moved them as bills in September 2020, they faced protests in the parliament. Opposition parties demanded a thorough scrutiny of the bills by the parliamentary panel. The government dismissed these demands and pushed the legislation through. The Akali Dal, then a partner in the government, had been a party to the cabinet's decision to move the ordinances, but began to get restive over the legislation subsequently. Harsimrat Badal of the Akali Dal quit the Union Cabinet as the government pushed the legislation in the parliament, and eventually her party itself quit the NDA. Over a half dozen of Rajya Sabha MPs from the opposition benches were suspended for the week for their disobedient conduct while protesting the rushed passage of these laws. Next, what was the status of the 3 laws until they were repealed? The Supreme Court stayed the implementation of the 3 laws on January 12th this year. My government respects the decision of the apex court and shall abide by it, the President Ramnath Kovind said in his address to the joint sitting of both houses of the parliament at the start of the budget session. Farm laws were in force for only 221 days, June 5th to 2020, when the ordinances were promulgated to January 12th, 2021. When the Supreme Court stayed their implementation, since the stay, the laws have been suspended. The government has used the old provisions of the Essential Commodities Act 1955 to impose stock limits and amended the act through one of the 3 farm laws. So if the laws have been lying dormant, how has the PM's announcement changed these things in reality? As the implementation of the laws had been state there was no impact of Prime Minister's announcement in terms of the administration of these laws. It will, however, bring some relief for the government ahead in the winter session of the parliament and the crucial assembly elections early next year in the 5 states, including Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. After a year of refusing to yield, why did the government suddenly do so? There are contrasting suggestions about the timing of the decision to announce the repeal. The Prime Minister sought to underline the announcement was being made on Guru Nanak Jayanti. It's been widely seen as a concession to the Sikh community, to which significant segment of the protesting farmers from Punjab belong. There were a risk that the anxiety among the largely Sikh protesters could lead to the tension ahead of and become an obstacle in the upcoming elections. From the opposition perspective, the decision had been timed with the elections in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand in mind. The opposition believed that the protests have been raised the political cost for the BJP, and the party needed to act before it caused them too costly, particularly in Uttar Pradesh. That's it, sir.
Thank you, Aditi. It has completed 350 days. 1 year is yet to be completed.
Yes.
And the most important thing, you should start with the sentence that the Prime Minister said, I apologize for what has happened, and it was repealed. There may be consequences on the announcement. The Parliament session is scheduled on 29th of November, and he promised that these bills will be repealed. Anyhow, there was a lot of controversy over the farm laws, and even they have gone to the Red Fort and they have unfurled the flag of their own. It was a very, very blunder which was committed by that protesters. And the protesters were there for the last 350 days on the roads. Even the Supreme Court interfered and said, it is not the way to protest. And they cautioned the government also, saying that you should not impose certain rules. And the ordinances were promulgated. And now the ordinances have become the legislations also when the Parliament passed it, as you said, in January. So this is a very major decision taken by Modi after consultation with several other people and the economists also. Since the elections of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab are scheduled in the month of February or so, they are very much afraid about these repercussions by the farmers. That is the major decision which the Modi government has taken. Anyhow, your presentation is very well done, Aditi. All the best. Vikram, do you want to continue?
Yes, sir.
Please continue. Ombudsman. You want to share the screen?
Yes, sir. I'm sure.
Yeah, ready.
So as I am saying that the tenure of the ombudsman is 3 years, and the reappointment is possible for him. If at all he is appointed this time, he can be appointed in the next successful. Like the tenure can be extended for 3 more years. And banking ombudsman can replace the customer forums. For example, in the previous when the ombudsman are not present, whenever they are taking something something from the bank account to the consumers, customers, sorry, for the supermarkets, if they are transferred directly, then they don't know where to contact. But after the ombudsman, they are directly contacting the ombudsman so that they can get the recovery faster. And these are some of the places where the banking ombudsman can help us in the loans and in regular banking. Like for example, you can take the help of ombudsman whenever the cash is not, they are not encashing the check which you provided them. Even though the check is proper and everything is fine, the banks sometimes make it late for us. And these are some of the reforms happened after the 1995, with the help of some acts, as we can see here in this. In the previous days they used to be from a reputed person from law or finance they used to appoint, but later it became the persons from the bank only. The outsiders are not allowed now. Only the persons in the bank are now they are appointing it as ombudsman. And in the olden days, RBI used to provide banks used to provide the salary in the 1995 Act. But after that, the RBI itself is directly giving the salary to ombudsman. In the previous years, everything was used to be paper, and the ombudsman also used to accept the complaints only on paper. And now he is accepting online complaints as well as paper, so that a person who is having the banking account in somewhere in the Tuni, he can apply from the Vijayawada or Hyderabad also. He don't need to travel just for applying some complaint or for something like this. And ombudsman, and these are some of the new reforms which are happened after 1995. And in the 1995 reform, there are nothing like this. Regular rural bank put under the jurisdiction, regular rural bank, something like you can take the cooperative banks, and Gramina banks also comes under the jurisdiction of ombudsman now. And he also look into the internet banking problems. If at all some transaction is happening and something forward happens, or if at all there is some problem, we can if the transaction amount is deducted, we can contact the ombudsman. And banks are allowed to display the common knowledge to the public. For example, how to deposit, how to take fixed deposits or recurring deposits. It's a ombudsman. It's a job of ombudsman now. And that's it, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyhow, you mentioned, you close the screen.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned about the consumer forum. Can you explain what is consumer forum and what are their activities?
Sir,
What is a consumer? Please open your video also.
sir, if at all we have some problem with any products which are having the ISI mark, we can apply it to the consumer forums or consumer courts also. So that we can get the proper response from them. If at all the product has expired date and it was sold by some of the shopkeeper,
Yeah,
you can
you
file
are
it in the consumer court.
You are staying in Annavaram. There was some problem
Yes, sir.
with the shopkeeper. And why should you file the case?
Sir, how to file? First, I'll file online, sir.
Online, to whom? And where is the court?
Sir, there's an online consumer form. There is some website, sir.
No, but where is the court? Because they hold the court also in regular sessions. 10 to 5, the court will be taking cases also. Besides online, it is a district level consumer court. One district judge, retired person will be there, and 2 members will be there, out of which one will be a lady and another will be a gentleman from any corner. And if you doesn't get the concerned redressal of the grievance, you can approach the state body. There is a state body also, state consumer redressal grievance cell. And if you doesn't get your proper grievance redressal, you can approach the National Council also. There are 3 retired Supreme Court judges there, headed by a Supreme Court retired judge, and 2 administrative officers are also of retired IAS people. One, Mr. Vishwanath from Andhra cadre, who retired as Secretary Administrative Reforms, is now a member of the National Redressal Council. It is in Connaught Place. So this you should know about the consumer redressal system. And you have mentioned about it in an integrated manner and detailed manner. But you should also know, earlier there were 3 ombudsman schemes. The dates and other things you please note down. One is Banking Ombudsman of 1995. Banking Ombudsman 1995. It was a scheme. Another is Non-Banking Financial Companies, 2018. Non-banking financial companies. And finally, there was another thing called as digital transactions, and it was introduced in 2019. So all these 3 were now replaced by a single one nation, one ration theory. So one nation and one ombudsman. Earlier, anybody can be appointed as an ombudsman, as you said, but now it cannot be. It is only a banking officer. a retired general manager of a particular bank or whatever it is. Anyhow, your presentation was very good. Coming to the point of Yashwini, when she mentioned about the road transport, you have to take down about that Pandharpur corridor. Yashwini, I mentioned it in the question about Pandharpur corridor. It was laid down, the foundation was laid down by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji about a week back. It is about 17,000 crores of rupees. It connects about 4 lanes, and Pandharpur being a pilgrim center, who is the god in Pandharpur? Any idea, Vikram?
Sir, I don't remember exactly, sir, but I heard in a song, sir.
Pandarinath. Pandarinath
yes,
is
sir.
it is in Maharashtra. It is a very famous place. Tukaram was there. Tukaram, a devotee
Sir?
of that Pandharpur Jagannath, he was a very fine Vittal. They call him as Pandharpur Vittal. Vittal. So the Modi government thought it is better to connect the Pandharpur, which is a religious place, which is a religious spiritual place, and a cultural place also. So to connect with it, they have made this 17,000 crores worth of meter gauge and rail gauge tracks in railway, as well as the road transport also. The Road Transport and Highways Department is headed in Nirman Bhavan in Delhi, and they execute all these things, and they have a National Highway Authority also. As I told you, Mr. A. Giridhar of 1988 batch IAS officer from Andhra cadre, he was in earlier cabinet secretary also, and now the workload of both the National Highway and Road Transport Organization has increased more. Then the farmers' laws. This is also an important point. You will definitely get a question in June regarding the repeal of farmers' laws. Why it has been introduced, why the ordinances were made, and then why the parliament has taken it into a legislation, and then what was the pressure on government of India to repeal the farmers' laws? Because most of the parties, opposition parties, though they were not strong in parliament, outside the parliament, they were very strong. Even they were able to go to the Red Fort in spite of all the police action. They were able to flag their flag. So it is a very important thing. And the farmers were sitting on the roads, national highway. It has been captured. And for the last 350 days, they were able to control the public and they were able to protest. So the government thought it is not interest of the public that we should continue these farmers' laws. And he convinced the cabinet also and said, we will repeal it and it will be repealed in the parliament because there was an enactment in the parliament. So it should be repealed only through parliamentary procedure. And they said in the 29th November session, it will be repealed. So these are the things which I thought I should do it. Madam, I think we have to reschedule.
Yes, sir. Please join.
Shall